walk by faith, not by sight. Meaning you got to do the work, right? You have to do the activities, but you also have to have this level of trust that there's a greater plan and things are going to work, and you have to lean on that because times are going to get tough. And if you can't lean on something, whatever you believe in, whether it's a chair or whatever, but I think believing that there's a plan and a greater plan and that everything is going to work out exactly how it should is critical.
Welcome back to the Reside Platform Podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Sunit Agrawal, and today I have an awesome guest. I'm super stoked to have him on, Mr. Ben Lang. Ben is not only a top producing real estate expert, coach, and speaker, but he's also just recently opened Remax, the collective agency. You're the broker too, right, Ben?
I am. Yes, I'm the principal.
Yeah, awesome. Ben's been recognized as one of the top 33 agents in all of Michigan, which is a lot of agents. And you've built an impressive legacy in the real estate world. But the cool thing is, which I want to talk about, one more cool thing that I want to talk about is that Ben just put out a transformative new book. It's called It All Begins With You. He's going to share, in the book, he shares really personal stuff and really powerful strategies for overcoming addiction, which is always great, and getting your life back. So we're going to dive into both sides of Ben's story today, how he built a thriving real estate business from the ground up and continues to keep on taking it to new levels, and his journey of self-discovery and recovery that led to actually writing a book. So whether you're a real estate pro looking for advice on leadership and scaling, or someone just wanting to look for inspiration, because that's what it takes, right? To overcome personal challenges, there's something here in this episode. So get ready, buckle up. As always, if you are enjoying the show, make sure to check out more episodes of the Reside Platform Podcast. And now let's get into it. Ben, welcome to the show, bro. How's it going?
Thanks, man. Thanks. I'm so glad to be here. I was so stoked when you invited me.
Yes. Yes. Just yesterday, Ben and I talk all the time. And one great thing about you, Ben, is because we talk through the communication. We work together in Reside. So it's been really cool to watch this journey, dude. So keep it up. And the book is like icing on the cake.
I'm so excited, man. I spent the last year of my life, over a year actually, it took to get it going. But in addition to running a team and selling a lot of real estate and opening a brokerage, I wanted to put something else on my plate because I feel like I didn't have enough. So,
I think I know what that feels like. Yeah.
But no, seriously, I'm coming up on 7 years sobriety now. And I really just felt this calling. It's just like a voice in my head, man. You gotta give it. You gotta give the story and you gotta give back. And the book is not, it is about addiction, right? But it's also, I think, moreover, it's about overcoming any obstacle in your life, and we're all going to face adversity. And that was my thing. It could be addiction. It could be death, divorce, job loss. It could be, for a real estate agent, it could be this market right now, right? So it really, at the end of each chapter, I put in self-reflection questions. So at the end of each chapter, there's questions that are designed to really make you think about your purpose in life. Because for me, a big part of my sobriety journey and recovery was finding purpose. So I dove into that quite a bit.
A reason not to get faded.
Yeah, you gotta wake up with something, man. My daughter, she's 13, and it's kind of a joke in our household. I'm like, I just want you to find that passion, that one thing that drives you. And she's like, Dad, I'm 13. I'm like, yeah, but once you find it, it's gonna carry you through everything that you do in life.
Dude, that's great. Let's get into the real estate stuff before we dig deep into that. So you recently opened a brokerage, the collective agency Remax. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I was toying around. I've been as we just talk a little bit more, I'll talk about my journey, but this is my second brokerage. I've had 2 teams. I'm now in my second brokerage. I do not hide the fact that I've fallen flat on my face twice in life. I mean, I've been bankrupt. I've been homeless. I've been in jail. I've pretty much done it all. I've reached it. So when the short sale market hit, my career took off because I became the short sale guy. So, I started selling in 2006. And then a year later, the market crashed, right? So I'm like, I'm listening to the radio one day and I'm like, hey, I keep hearing all these ads on the radio for short sales, but it's only one guy. And so I said to myself back then, I was like, there has to be a Pepsi to his Coke. So that's what I became. I went, started talking to attorneys. I got my CDPE, my SFR, and just soaked up as much as I could about short sales because I wanted to fill that slot. And I wanted to find the niche because I truly believe that the money is in the niche.
Sure, riches in the niches.
All the time, right? So that's where my career really exploded. I closed hundreds of short sales in between 2008, 9, 10, 11. Those are 4 of my best years in this industry. And I had reached a good level of success. I'd amassed what most would deem a great level of success. And I started my first team in 2011, opened my first brokerage in 2014. My sister committed suicide in 2016, and I went on a 2-year bender. And at the end of the 2 years, it was real bad, real bad. So landed myself in a rehab. And it basically tore down everything that I had built between 2008 and 2016. It was burned to the ground. I burned it. And started off as a single agent in 2018. I sold 6 houses in 2018. 6. When I was selling hundreds back in the day. Last year, I personally, not my team or anything, I sold 72 listings, and that's kind of my niche. Is I wrote an ebook called Listing Domination, and it's 54 pages of wealth regarding, just dominating listings. So I've taught that around the country for different organizations as well. But back to the brokerage, I had to come full circle around. Back to the brokerage, I was toying with some different ideas, and I ultimately chose Remax because I believe, how I shifted when the market crashed, and I shifted into short sales. And I believe with what's happening right now with the new laws, the confusion in the market, the, economic downturn, everything that's happening cumulatively, I believe that the consumer is going to be, 2018 through 2022, I don't think an agent needed a brand. You could open a door and get paid, basically. But now I think the consumer is going to really be attracted and to a trusted brand, a brand of 52 years that has some recognition and some strength and some trust built behind it.
So what's your vision around what you're doing with the collective agency?
The last 3 or 4 years, I've been crushing the listing game. My message to sellers, potential sellers, consumer has been, we've got options. And so the hook was basically, instead of having 5 different people out, you have me out. I'll give you an instant cash offer. I'll give you a sale leaseback scenario. I'll do a short sale for you. I'll bring some bridge options to the table, or I'll do a traditional list. And that has served me really well over the last 3 or 4 years. And then I coupled that with a commission menu on top of it. So having we've got options where I can satisfy 5 or 6 different solutions to your problem as a seller. And then I've got a commission menu on top of it for the last 3 or 4 years. It's really been working for me. So I took the same philosophy into this brokerage. So, if you go to a lot of different brands, it's, here's the split, here's the cap, this is what it is. So for me, I said, why don't I break it down? And I have 3 different programs based on the level of production that you are doing in your current career, in your career right now, right? So I've got one program where you get leads, and I designed it in a way. So I was kind of also tired of the teams that are like, I'm going to give you 100 different things, and then I'm going to take 65% of your money. So what I did was I made it a little less aggressive. I'm taking less of the agent's money, but then I've got a menu for them. So if they want ISA services, they can pay for it. If they want a transaction coordinator, they can pay for it. If they want a listing coordinator, they can pay for it. If they want done for you social media, they can pay for it. So I've got 3 different comp plans, and then I also have a menu additionally, so that the agent can really choose something that's specifically tailored to fit where they're at in their career today. And as their career and their production elevates, they can jump to another program all the way up to the 100% commission model. And I also realize that things are going to happen in life. So divorce may strike, a death in the family may strike, a pregnancy might strike. You can bump down so that your monthly fees are lower. You can move around within the 3 different comp plans. And I think that's cool as well. Then on top of that, my mission is really it's to create leaders. It's to build and foster tomorrow's leaders. So what I've done is I've already identified 2 agents that have come on board recently to the collective agency, and I've got an agreement with them to do a partnership and open their own location inside of the next 12 months. So I'm going to, at my headquarters, I'm going to take care of all the stuff that no one else wants to deal with. The broker questions, the conflicts, the bookkeeping, and the compliance. So I'm going to give them and take all of that off their plate, so that when they open their own location, all they have to do is sell, lead, and recruit. And the conversations that I've been having with agents, it's a way out. It gives them an end game. And I also talk about legacy a lot. Like, I'm doing this personally. Everything that I do is to create a legacy. It's not just to leave something financial for my daughter, which I do want to do, but I also want to leave something where in 30 years or 20 years or whatever the case might be, she can look and say, that's my dad. He built this incredible thing, and I think he's amazing. And I'm so proud of him for building this tangible thing that has changed other people's lives in a very profound way. Like these agents that are going to open their own location, and they're going to build a team of 30 or 40 agents in their location. That's changing lives in a way that I feel called to change lives.
Good. Yeah, that's really noble, right? I mean, that's great.
If I'm being honest, like selling houses, that's not giving me the the fulfillment that it did in the beginning of my career. It's just not.
Sure. That's natural. What do you think? Like, let's just go back, like, and being an agent and then getting into leadership and then blowing it up, words you said, right? And then going back into the brokerage. Was there like a big shift in your mindset that you had to make when doing those transitions?
Yeah, I think like listening to you and listening to John, it's so funny how this works. And I've coached agents before, and but I listen to you guys talk, and I'm like, and it's not clicking, and then maybe that sounds bad, right? But
No. This is what I love. I like
it's
feedback, brother. Yes.
dude, I'm telling you, it's not registering. And then when I'm out in the field and I'm in my zone, all of a sudden it's like things are starting to click. Like people move the money. Like it didn't really. I saw that. I saw John speak at FubCon. God, what was that? 2 years ago? I don't know.
2 years, yeah.
FubCon when he spoke there, right? He did
2
that.
and 3 years, yeah.
And like it kind of made sense, but now
wait a second. Did you see me speak at FubCon? Because I spoke at those same events too.
Yeah, dude. I think you were on a panel though, weren't you?
Yeah, with Gary. I was on the top producer panel with Gary Ashton.
Was it Anthony John too, right?
Anthony John was on there from your neck of the woods. Anthony. Shout out to Anthony and Dan Walters from Robert Slack. And 1 year was Justin Havard too. Honestly, me being on those panels was such a privilege. Like I didn't know what the hell I was doing up there, but yeah. So you saw us speak, you heard us whether at events or whatever, but it wouldn't click until. Go ahead.
Very recently, when we're bringing these agents on, and I'm like, these people are really the core of my business. Like,
yes.
Forget about like the tech and the location and all the other stuff. It's just stuff. It's just filler. Like it's really clicking. Everything that you do in this life is going to depend on the people that you bring into your inner circle and
your outer circle. If you listen to John Maxwell, right?
And your outer circle.
And the Dunbar effect, where you only have the capacity to really know 150 people in your life. So everyone you bring in, you're either adding or subtracting.
It matters, right? So the mindset now is everything. So generating consumer leads, I moved a huge portion of that budget over to agent attraction. It's a complete shift from, B2C to almost to B2B, really, because other B2B, agents are business, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just shifting from that B2C to the B2B, and it takes a minute to get there, honestly. For me, it did. Maybe for other people, it would click quicker. Maybe I'm slow. I don't know.
Well, I mean, not slow, but
it took me a
busy
while
with other stuff.
For it to really like click in. And now we've got, in the last 7 days, we've brought on 5 agents to the
broker. Now we're talking. Hell yeah.
Yeah. 7 days, 5 agents. And I'm not talking about like people that just got their real estate license. I'm talking about one agent has sold 32 houses year to date.
That's a lot.
Yeah, dude. So we're bringing on people that are producing, and it's quite exciting. Like it's just, it gets the engines right. Like I'm so excited. I'm like so pumped up.
That's
I just had an awesome day today.
Good. Well, hopefully this is the ice cherry on top, right? So let's get into this book, because we can talk about real estate all day long, but at least I want to talk about the book once people start hearing about it. So we kind of touched on it. Like you kind of talked about what the motivation was, right? And right, like your battle with sobriety, are your journey to sobriety, and then why you're doing it, the purpose, all great reasons. How did your personal experiences you have shape the message and structure of the book? And so, real quick, the name of the book, It All Begins With You, right?
Yes, that is correct.
And where can I go buy a copy of it right now?
Amazon, man. It's on Amazon, Audible, Kindle.
You just did the Audible by yourself, right?
I did.
Did you do it on that same mic you're using right now?
No, I actually had to go. My publisher, I was going to do it on this mic, and my publisher was like, Audible's really like, you got to go to a recording studio. So I went
Oh,
to a recording studio for it. Yeah.
Dude,
it was wild.
I want to give you props because I've been working on a book for 2 years. And as soon as I think it's close to being done, I'm wait a second. Right?
Yeah.
Do I make it into 2 books? So right now we're almost at the end, but it's been 2 years, dude. So
You're a busy guy though, too. I mean,
everyone's busy, right? So how did your personal experiences with overcoming the shit that you had to overcome shape the message and structure of the book?
yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny how, recovery, the journey to recovery, the things that you learn at an inpatient rehab,
Yeah, right.
they fit into the business model.
100%. They fit into entrepreneurship 100%.
The philosophies are the same, So is
a lot of the stuff that John says about his recovery and the application of business, does that resonate with some of the stuff that you think about?
God, yeah, 100%.
Okay.
100%. It's so
100%.
true. There's a direct correlation. But with the book, I mean, every chapter is really just it's about getting knocked down and keep clawing your way to the top, because that's, like I said, in 2018. Oh, all right, let's 2018. It was inpatient rehab, jail, car repossessed, homeless, bankruptcy, divorce. So when those 6 things happen to you all at one time within a
rough
within a 6-month period, and then I'm like, I was a broker owner, so I had stopped selling for a good, and I was an alcoholic and a drug addict, so I had stopped selling for 2 to 3 years between 15 and 18. So I didn't have any SOI. So you got to think, like, I'm a brand new agent when I'm coming out. There's no SOI left, right? So 6 houses in 2018. It's just, to me, it's just so astonishing. So with the book, like I said, like, I've had so many blessings over the last, from 2019 to now. I've just been blessed in so many different ways, and I just felt so compelled to create something that would help people get through whatever it is. Sure. It doesn't have to be addiction.
So for the listeners and viewers out there, I think it's pretty fair to assume that pretty much everybody is dealing with something, right? So for someone who might be struggling with, for example, addiction right now, right? What's the first step that someone can take to break the cycle of being self-destructive behavior?
First, well, gosh, that's a loaded question. So I believe that the first step is to take accountability. I think, I know a lot of addicts, and it's very much the victim card, and when you're playing that victim role, that there's no way to get out of it, because you're not taking accountability for your own actions, for the role that you played in getting to that spot. You're not, right? So how can you move forward if it's everyone else's fault?
Why do you think that like people like struggle with that accountability and being aware that they need to do that?
If we're talking about people in general, I think that our life is so busy. There's so much outside noise, with social media and the media. If you're listening, I haven't watched the media since I got sober. I haven't watched the news. It doesn't play a good, if something's not benefiting me, I just let it go now. But I think that people get so busy and so caught up in the outside noise and spend too much time on social media that they're not really getting to know who they are. And maybe they knew who they were at one point, but I think our relationship with ourself is just like any other relationship in life. If you're not putting work into it and putting effort into you, and I'm not talking about being selfish, and to a certain degree I am, but I'm not talking about being selfish. But I think if you're not pouring into, here's one thing that I learned. You can't pour from a half empty cup. That's really what it is, right? So whether you want to pour into yourself or pour into your spouse or your children or your business, or pour into anything, you can't do it at 100% unless you're doing things for you. You're doing things to grow as a human being. And really, I think the first two, this is my opinion, I think the first 2 hours of your day should be dedicated to you. And that could include a gratitude journal, a journal in general, fitness, walking, nature, meditation, prayer, all of the above.
I subscribe to that and do it every day. Yep.
Reading something to grow as a person. If that's it, I think if you're not dedicating the first 2 hours of your day, each and every day, to you to grow as a person, you're not going to get to the level that you want to get to.
Yeah, totally. Dude, that's so good.
If I could drop this, I'd drop it.
Yeah, dude, you've freaking nailed it. 100%. So you developed a lot of skills in real estate. We talk about setting goals and having grit. Now, did those skills in real estate help you overcome the personal challenges that you encountered, or was it vice versa? Do you did the stuff you learned in the inpatient rehab and going through the stuff you've done? I'm sure you've gone to a shit ton of meetings, right? Did that help your real estate business, or did the real estate business help that?
Real estate has been such an incredible career for me, and not just because you get to help other people, and you get to help other people get to where they want to go. Although that is my favorite part. Helping someone else get to where they want to go is my favorite part. And you're solving problems. But here's where I feel like the true blessing is in a career in real estate. I had 16 rental properties before the real estate market crashed. Then I was broke by 2008, 2009. Then I was, hit my stride with the short sale boom. And then I was able to recover financially so quickly from the first time I really fell flat on my face, which was when, with all the rental properties, when the market crashed.
Dude, you're talking about my story too right now. 100%.
The ability to go from zero to being financially healthy in '08, in '07, '08, and then again in 2018, I feel like is one of the greatest gifts on the planet. If I was, working a job, working a 9 to 5, or doing anything else, I don't think financially I could have recovered. And I think if I wouldn't have been able to financially recover so quickly, it would have kind of made things more difficult for that recovery journey, for that sobriety journey, because it would have added stress, obviously, right? But I think ultimately the lessons that I learned in that recovery journey have helped me tremendously in real estate.
Good stuff. So, what advice? You talk about purpose-driven stuff, and I love that. And I don't like to know your purpose and be that self-aware. Like, that's really commendable. I'm over here thinking to myself as you talk about, do I have a purpose? Yeah, right. Like your conviction makes others question, right? At least for myself. So good for you. That's what you want to do, is make people curious, right? What advice would you give an entrepreneur if they want to build a purpose-driven career while trying to balance everything in their personal life?
I'm not going to act like I've got it all figured out.
Yeah, good. But you have your perspective, dude, which is valuable.
The amount of hours I work, because I tell you, I mean, I'm up at 5, and 5 to 7:30, I'm working on me, and 7:30, I'm on my way to the office, and I get home at 8 o'clock at night usually.
Yep. Put in the hours.
So balance is something that me personally, I probably shouldn't be giving anyone advice on.
Okay. How about the purpose? How about how do you build a purpose-driven career?
How do you build a purpose-driven career? Number one, you find out what your purpose is, right?
Through self-awareness, through
all the things I just
self-accountability.
Yeah, I mean, all the things I just talked about, taking ownership for you and your actions, making sure that you are 100% whole. I can't really I can't stress that enough. You've got to be at 100 to make everything else in your life right. And if you can get your quadrants down, where you've got faith and family and finances, and if you can get your quadrants all, pretty balanced out and get them whole, there's not much that's going to stop you. If you just got to want it. You really, like, I get excited about stuff. People can usually, or they tell me at least, that they can sense my passion for what I do and for what I'm trying to build. And I think that's maybe what a lot of entrepreneurs lack, is that I'm going to get from point A to point B, no matter what stands in my way. There is nothing in this world that's going to stop me. And that's the mindset that I have. That's
the mindset. Yep.
There is nothing that's going to stop me. It doesn't matter. Nothing is going to stand in my way.
Have you read Arnold's new book, Be Useful?
No, I haven't.
Dude, get it. Get the Audible, because it's him reading. It's really good. It's really good.
You know what? What I'm on right now is Ego is the Enemy, and I'm loving it.
Good. I'll have to check that one out. So quick rapid fire questions for some final thoughts. What's the best advice you've ever received?
Ooh, best advice ever. Stay humble. Stay humble. Don't forget where you came from.
Yes, that's great. What's one book besides your own that you think everybody should read?
I personally, anything John Maxwell. I love everything leadership.
One book. Is it The 21 Laws by John Maxwell?
No, not the 21 laws. He's got the 5 laws. I'm also reading a really good one right now called Culture of Empowerment.
Okay.
I would highly suggest it. Culture of Empowerment. I'm really strong in my faith. And the book is basically about, it basically takes like the church model, right? And how the church really empowers, people that volunteers to really, there's a couple really great books. Number one book.
I think you just dropped a couple. So everyone, check out John Maxwell. Check out those other ones. What do you think is the biggest misconception about success, Ben?
That once you hit it, you're there.
Yeah.
The rent's due every day, man.
Every damn day. All right. Final question. What is the one message? This is not the final question. Second to final question. What is one message you want to leave listeners with, whether they're in real estate or not, whether they're battling addiction or not, or whether they just want to live a better life?
Wait, can you repeat that?
Sure. What's the one message you want to leave listeners with, no matter where they are and what they want?
There's a couple, actually. I'm going to give you a couple. I'm all tatted up, right?
Yes.
Like I got these tats all over me, right? There's 2 quotes that I pretty much live by.
Okay, and let's hear them.
And I've got them on my arm so I can see them every day. And I swear, the first one is walk by faith, not by sight.
Good.
Meaning, you got to trust that. I mean, you got to do the work, right? You have to do the activities, but you also have to have this level of trust that there's a greater plan and things are going to work, and you have to lean on that because times are going to get tough. And if you can't lean on something, whatever you believe in, whether it's a chair or whatever, but I think believing that there's a plan and a greater plan, and that everything is going to work out exactly how it should, is critical.
Okay, good one.
Second one. We attract that which we are, not what we want. And that one's really near and dear to me. It's really, so we can't live our lives disingenuous and lying to other people and expect to attract people into our lives who live their lives full with integrity. We got to live. We're going to attract it. We're going to attract what we are. We can't want things and not be that every day. Does that make sense?
Good. So if somebody wants to send you a referral in Detroit, or if somebody wants to talk to you about joining the collective agency or just want to talk to you more, how do they reach out to you?
Call me on my cell, man. 248-835-2340. If you want to chat about addiction, chat about real estate, call me.
What's your Instagram too?
Instagram is I don't know, man. I think it's the collective agency.
Yeah, well, look up Ben Lang, realtor. What's that?
I just changed all the handles.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, find Ben Lang and the collective agency on Instagram. Ben, thank you for coming on. That's super good. I love working with you, coaching you, seeing the business growth. Love the fucking book, dude. Great job. So if you heard this episode, liked it, got something out of it, go through our past episodes. We have a ton of fire in there. So many good guests about personal development, about real estate business, about addiction, about fitness. And if you want to learn more about the Reside platform to dial in your real estate team and brokerage and just get your business going, scaled up, reach out. We'll put a link in the comments, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Reside Platform Podcast. Thanks, dude.